Hi, my name's Jerry, and I am a Twin Troller boat owner. I recently received an email from Steve from Melbourne, Florida. He was fishing in the Stick Marsh, and it seems like he had a great time. Steve wrote, "Hi Jerry and hello everyone. On Thursday, November 15th, I went fishing early on the Stick Marsh, Farm 13. The day before, I noticed that the weather forecast was calling for winds out of the west and northwest, usually good conditions for bass fishing, along with the cold front due to hit much later in the day. My decision really paid off. I arrived at the far end of Farm 13 right at sunrise, as I normally do. But the weatherman wasn't as accurate for the timing of winds that were predicted to hit 10 mile an hour by 10 a.m. I got hit with the strongest west winds just as I began fishing, with gusts close to 15 miles an hour and a stiff rain to go with it. I broke out my large umbrella to sit out the rain that would last about 20 minutes, but I noticed several hundred yards closer to the west bank the wind wasn't quite as bad and near perfect for a rippled surface that usually creates great whopper plopper fishing. The rain continued to drizzle on and off for the next 2 hours, and the sun was totally overcast. I used my electronics to move there and began throwing the size number 90 whopper plopper. For some reason, the large Stick Marsh bass seemed to prefer the higher pitched buzzing of the smaller whopper plopper versus the large ones. The only time I switch to the larger size number 110 is when the surface is too rough for the smaller version. I began catching and missing fish on nearly every cast. It was a dream come true. Caught several 2 to 3 pounds and missed most due to short strikes. Then it happened. The larger of the two bass hit my lure. The 7-pound, 12-ounce bass, just shy of 8 pounds, put up one of the strongest fights I've experienced in quite some time, and pulled so hard I was forced to loosen an already loose drag twice. Good thing I did, because she was barely hooked with only a single hook. Happiness is a quality reel with a smooth drag. Over the next 15 minutes, I lost a few smaller fish and the bite stopped. So I switched to the tried and true Bomber Long A, and I fished it with a twitch pause and then let it rest on the surface type retrieve. Sure enough, on the second cast, the other big bass hit. This bass was slightly smaller at 6 pounds 14 ounces, just shy of 7 pounds. I caught and lost a few more smaller fish, and the bite shut down for the most part. The best part was not a single soul was on the entire Farm 13 side but me. Many of us are aware of how the whopper plopper is a big fish bait, but out of all the hard jerk baits I've fished over the years, there is something about the original Bomber Long A that really entices the bigger bass. I catch bass on this size every year on both lures. I spent the remainder of the day moving about the entire complex, chasing and catching a few small schooling bass along the way. The beginning of the cold front began at about 2 p.m. and the winds and water grew treacherous, so I left. The only other boats I saw the entire day was midday and only a few crappie anglers who did quite well for their targeted species. This clearly marks the beginning of our big bass season on the Stick Marsh. That will last all the way through April and even May. I will be going again after the lake settles, a few days from the passing of the cold front, and you better believe I'm going to bring along a couple dozen jumbo live wild shiners. Until next time, tight lines everyone. Steve from Melbourne, Florida. I hope you liked my video. If you did, in the corner right there, just please subscribe, or give me a thumbs up, or share it with a friend. You can leave some comments below, even questions, or even push that bell down there, and that will give you notice when I've put out another video. Thanks for watching. Bye now.